Christmas Day, I was asked to comment on the Christmas Day message by the Queen. I was so pleased with it this year because it highlights the young people who are never normally seen or recognised. The Queen recognises it, and so does Good News Britain, our own project.
The news: the Queen will use her Christmas Day message to highlight the achievements of the UK's unsung heroes. In her annual address, broadcast this afternoon, she'll pay tribute to those ordinary people doing extraordinary things. But after an eventful year, which saw the UK vote to leave the EU, the Archbishop of Canterbury will warn of the rising fear and division in society. We're going to be hearing from our royal correspondent Rhiannon Mills, who's at Sandringham, in just a moment. But first, let's bring you these images. Who can you pick out there? I think we can pick out Charles, can't we? And certainly the Duke of Edinburgh as well. Looks as though both of them, along with other members of the royal family, will be heading to church very shortly indeed. No sign of Her Majesty. She actually was driven down last year, wasn't she, to church, perhaps the same this year. She wasn't very well earlier on in the week, but she did manage to make the journey to Sandringham. They went via helicopter, Duke of Edinburgh with her as well. As I was saying, we're expecting her Christmas Day message, 3 o'clock, along with the leader of, am I right in saying, is it the Archbishop of Canterbury? Thank you. And this is what he had to say.
The Queen's annual Christmas message in the year she turned 90 is expected to have a more uplifting tone with a theme of inspiration. With examples like the Olympic and Paralympic athletes who she hosted at Buckingham Palace following their success in Rio, she will say, "I often draw strength from meeting ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Volunteers, carers, community organisers and good neighbours, unsung heroes whose quiet dedication makes them special. They are an inspiration to those who know them." With photographs of her husband, Prince Philip, and Prince Charles alongside her, there will also be a nod to the achievements of her own family. The Duke of Edinburgh's award marking its 60th anniversary this year, and the Prince's Trust celebrating 40 years of helping young people.
Anyone listening to the Queen's speech knows that she's actually sat down and prepared what the message is herself. She may have discussed it with Prince Philip, but very often what she has to say to the nation has been checked by government, and this one certainly hasn't. So she's really speaking what she feels herself, and she's bringing it across on one of the most special family days.
All eyes will be on Sandringham this morning as the crowds, just as they did last year, wait to see members of the royal family. Having delayed their journey to Norfolk on Wednesday because they had heavy colds, many will be wondering if the Queen and Prince Philip will be well enough to join the rest of the family for their traditional trip to church. Rhiannon Mills, Sky News in Sandringham.
The Queen will use her Christmas Day message to highlight the achievements of those who inspire others, from Olympic and Paralympic athletes to those she describes as ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The Queen is spending Christmas at Sandringham, as she always does, where she's due to attend church with her family very shortly. Joined now by royal photographer Ian Pelham-Turner. Hello to you, Ian. Just wander over and catch up with you. So, she's presumably going to go to church, we're guessing.
Go to church.
She's not very well, or hasn't been well, but she'll still go.
She will still go, and so will Philip as well. He'll do his traditional walk. He always does. You know, it's his way of doing it. But I am so pleased with what the Queen has said this morning in her Christmas message.
Which particular aspect?
I love the unsung heroes.
Okay.
And the reason why I like the unsung heroes is I'm part of an organisation called Good News Britain that actually highlights all the unsung heroes in diversity communities. And we do that in different ways to actually make them feel like first-class citizens as well. So with people like Helena Shard and William Bukuka-Barbwe, who I work with a lot, the idea is to actually really sort of say to the communities in Britain, they are special as well. And there are so many people who are forgotten about these days that we try to sort of highlight. So the Queen's message today is so important to me as well.
Yeah, she does that with the honours list as well, though, doesn't she?
She does it, but then it's forgotten about. And what we try to do is look at the people, look at what they physically do as well. And we really do sort of embrace with the communities, engage with the communities, and they feel special because of it. And I think the Queen's message today will absolutely resonate with every diversity community in Britain.
She is we're hearing, it being her 90th year, starting to step back from some of the charities that she's involved with. Were you surprised that she made that announcement?
No, I think there is this what's known as a soft transition between herself and Charles. So these days, obviously, Charles is taking more of the reins now from it. They're also sort of giving more scope to William, Harry and Kate as well at the same time, so that they can be actually more involved within the procedures as well. So I think, you know, with all these charities, they are so important to the Queen. You know, I was talking to one of her representatives the other day at lunch, you know, and she really does, even at 90, she's still very, very sprightly. You know, I mean, she's still running around the palace and she still greets people when she sees them as well. So she sees herself, you know, still very much at the helm of of all the charities, and she may be sort of stepping away, but she won't forget them either.
Might she be a little bit disappointed William's not there with the family at Christmas? Because she does like them all around her, doesn't she, at Christmas time?
I think there is issues this Christmas. I mean, sadly with Zara Tyndall as well. That's a tragic news at the same time.
Thoughts with her and her husband, of course.
Absolutely, and so this Christmas is not quite the same Christmas as before, but they still go through the royal procedures. You know, it's like a clockwork situation. They arrive the night before. Each of them arrive at an allotted time. It's like a sort of a train station. So they'll arrive at 10-minute intervals, their cases are picked up and they get shown to their rooms as well.
Fantastic. And they open presents on Christmas Eve as well, I think, don't they?
They open their presents on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I did that this year. Quite liked it, actually.
I know.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I was listening to you earlier.
Oh, were you? Yeah. I had a glass of champagne and everything on the go.
That's why I'm wearing the right...
It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for giving in. A Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Still to come on the programme for you this morning. We're going to have all today's top stories, of course, but primarily wishing you a Merry Christmas wherever you're watching us from around the world this Christmas morning here on Sky. Stay tuned.